There are no secrets, there are only mysteries. The world is our fucking oyster. It breaks my fucking heart to see you not taken more serious. It breaks my fucking heart to see you not be serious about this. From every chaos comes order. It is gonna be the biggest fucking regret you ever fucking had in your life. You will wanna kick yourself the rest of your fucking life. From 20, 25 years from now, when your grandchildren say, what the fuck did you do during the greatest transformation of wealth in the history of the fucking 14 billion years the planet's been up? We're gonna have more suicides 25 years from now than now. Even if you don't use it properly, you can get fucking rich. Everybody that you heard so far hasn't said 100% of the truth because they don't even know what the fuck they're doing, right? The people you're gonna hear today don't know what the fuck they're doing, but they're rich. It transcends not just not knowing about the industry you're in. You don't have to know anything. You don't have to know 2 and 2 equals 4 if you believed, but it's obvious to me you don't. If you had put that much effort in your own careers, you wouldn't be here. The people that ask the most questions normally fail. Does everybody's English good enough to understand what I just said? The people that ask the most questions fail. Does anybody not understand that? When you're saying something and I correct it and your answer is, but, I'm not interested. Don't even say the rest of the words. Remember, the system works. If it doesn't work, it's because of you. Why? Of all people to try to fuck around with, why they pick me is beyond my comprehension. If you don't turn in your homework tomorrow morning, don't come to class. Does everybody understand that? If you don't do the motherfucking homework, just pack your fucking bags and leave tomorrow morning. There's a method to my madness. Because most of them are, I'm on board, pull up the gangplank. Everybody understand what that means? I'm on board, fuck you. Because you're competition for them. And contrary to what you think, nobody wants to fucking help you. But you want to know the why instead of the how. We will spend no time explaining to you the why. We will spend little or no time on why. Why? Because you're all brain dead, retard shits. People that ask the most questions normally fail. And the other tip, if there is one, is the people that take the best and most copious notes have a higher probability of success. Copious mean detailed notes, and then go over them. Just you taking a bunch of notes here isn't gonna do shit, because you're gonna not have anybody to ask after you leave here, meatheads. Familiarity breeds contempt. Do we all know what that means? Does anybody not know? The more friendly I am with you, the harder it is for me to put a cap in your ass. In my particular case, that's really not the case. There is a burden of leadership, which none of you, hardly any of you understand, because you've got no leadership skills. Now, some of you have been in business 15, 20, 25 years. Because if you've been in business 25 years and you came to this seminar, something's wrong with you. Categorically, something is fucking wrong. That means you didn't learn a goddamn thing, did you? There's a burden of leadership. There is a burden of responsibility. And we'll get around to the icon from last night. The characteristics that he showed last night in the movie you saw are not going to be any different, plus or minus 5%, than all the big fucking hitters that we're going to talk about this week. And I'm not even going to ask because I don't want you to lie to me. How many of you can relate to him on a personal level? Not a goddamn one of you. How did you know it was fucked up? I said, just look at the people. The brains are baked too much by the sun out there. Was I right? Well, yes, I was right. My wife wants the dog to love her. I realize dogs are pack animals. I don't want our dogs to love me. I only want them to do what the fuck I tell them to do when I tell them to do it. Otherwise, why have a fucking dog? Abso-fucking-lutely. I couldn't agree more. You would rather be liked than effective. Every single person in this room. Almost all of you don't live up to my expectations. Identify crying adults and fire them. And we're gonna teach you how to fire people here. The secret sauce that we don't give the YouTubers. We're gonna teach you how to hire them, and then fire them, and then burn them at the stake if you like. You think firing anybody ever stopped the guy that you saw last night? Or Steve Jobs? Or anybody? No. There's no change without sacrifice. So you understand it now? I mean, it's easy peasy. Well, he's increased the velocity of money. They can put money in the fucking street 3 to 5 times quicker. And the big guys know that. The little mooches, your parents don't know that. They don't know shit, right? So unfortunately, the rich are gonna get richer and the poor are gonna stay poor. But the world understands that, and they don't give a shit that we're trading lives for money. Now, they say they've got a vaccine. I hope they do. But up until they got the vaccine in the last, 3 weeks, 5 weeks, the market's going like this. People are dying in the fucking streets. We broke through 30,000 on the Dow, 6,000 on the FT. That shouldn't be. The market's saying, fuck the poor guy, fuck the little guy. I'm on board, pull up the gangplank. And the big money knows it. And it couldn't be rosier for us. Because while they're running scared, you are now the fifth horseman of the apocalypse, raping, pillaging, and plundering your way to riches. There's no competition. Zero. None. And the banks want to give you the money without robbing them with a gun like Jesse James. It can't get any better. When I say this is fucking it, this is fucking it. I wouldn't be surprised in this decade to see the Dow at 50,000, 60,000. And property prices have gone down 8 quarters in a row in Manhattan, 8 quarters in a row in Mayfair. Property is through. It's over. What are they gonna do with 14 million square feet of empty fucking space they're gonna have in Manhattan? What? Because now you can work from home, which I don't like that model at all, but they're gonna try to turn it into condos and shit. As long as Corona, you don't have to go out and physically see anybody. There's no shoe leather involved anymore. The only time shoe leather meaning going to see what you're buying. But now you're putting boards together without seeing people. You're getting lawyers and accountants without seeing people. You know how much fucking time that saves? So what you've done as a group is you've put the brakes on. Oh, Nelly, I gotta slow down here. I'm going too fast. And we actually have kids buying companies without seeing them, which is wrong. That's gonna bite them in the ass sooner than later. If you think masks and social distancing is going away, you're brain dead. Just as after 9/11, we thought security at airports was a pain in the ass, didn't we? It's worse now than it was 20 years ago. And that's exactly what's gonna happen. Corona and all the things attached to it are gonna get worse, not better. I predicted the second wave and I predicted a third wave, because it's never going away. Corona is running rampant from Thanksgiving in America. It's gonna get only worse. You know that big tsunami wave that I've got in my website? When that motherfucker comes and it takes everybody out, as I predicted in March, the only ones that are gonna be standing are QLA bots. If you put it into practice, not if you sit with your fucking thumb up your asses. Otherwise, you wasted your fucking money here. Nobody tells you that, because they want to sell you some other shit. It's a sad fucking commentary on life, but we're not dead yet. Most of you wouldn't do well in jail, especially you little guys. I can just hear your bitches screaming, "Ah!" What are you possibly thinking? Even some of the adults in the room, and there are not too many of you in this room. What is it about when you put a thing on Facebook, you got a picture like this? What in God's name are you fucking thinking? You're an embarrassment. And this is why I say Homo sapien is fucking through. Now some of you got pictures just like it, so don't be looking with such fucking disdain. Philip Green, they're talking about taking his knighthood away. He paid himself 1.2 billion pounds in a dividend just before Corona. And now they're 32 million short in the pension plan, and he's not, as I understand the information, he's not putting it in. They act like they don't understand. He doesn't give a fuck about the employees. What is there to understand? Jesus Christ, how fucking stupid naive are you? 32 million out of $1.2 billion? I mean, even the meatheads in here can do the math. But there's some people in this room that wouldn't put the 32 million in, and I know who you are. I'd put the 32 million. I'd probably give half of the 1.2 billion back. I'm not tough enough, they told me, remember? The real hunters and slayers don't put the money back. You were tougher, Dan. You would have been the first trillionaire on the planet, but you're just a weenie. Selling! Most of you in this room couldn't give a blowjob away to a fucking drunken sailor. Selling. I am just a used car salesman that honed his skills to be able to sell governments. But I'm a salesman. But see, you didn't go to school and get 2 master's degrees. You didn't go to school and get a PhD. You didn't go to school to get a medical degree to be a salesman. But for those of you that have multiple degrees, or any kind of degree whatsoever, if you told your parents that you were going to school, university, to learn how to be a salesman, just imagine what they tell you. And that's why a lot of people have trouble with QLA, because they weren't raised to be a fucking salesman. Where in the pecking order of life is a salesman? I had guys that their parents sold aluminum or whatever, and they used to say he was a systems engineer. You never say your dad's a salesman, do you? He's some kind of fucking engineer or some kind of horse shit, right? And this is sending the message to the fucking meatheads in YouTube. In all business, which is the last motherfucking gunslinger business, I don't trust a man that doesn't fucking drink. Forget about it. Kids, this is it. This is fucking it. It's never gonna be any better. Now, I'm not wishing Corona stays with us forever. I'm predicting some form of Corona is gonna be with us for fucking ever. This has shaken the tree of motivated sellers, and it's gonna last 1,000 fucking years. The Third Reich didn't make it for 1,000 years, but this will. You gotta believe. If you don't believe, you're gonna tumble with all the other fuck faces. And when I used to say, I want you to go out there and shit down their neck and leave them for fucking dead, I never meant it more than I do now. I want you to kill them. Run towards a fucking gunfire and kill every cocksucker you meet. Go fuck yourself.